from First Coast News on your side. This is Good Morning Jacksonville.
As we come on the air here at 5, a terror attack in New Orleans leaves at least 15 people dead, dozens more injured. The latest as the FBI searches for any possible co-conspirators.
Plus, heightened security ahead of our own Gator Bowl. We're on your side with how the attack is impacting preparations for tonight's game.
Well, good morning to you on this Thursday. I'm Katie Jeffries.
And I'm Lewis Turner. We're glad you're waking up with us. It's going to be a chilly start already, very chilly as you get out and get ready to go. Talking about your forecast this morning. So let's look at the temperature map across the area. Right now, it is a lot of blue on there, a lot of dark blue as well. And we get up towards Valdosta, Waycross, Brunswick. You're already in the 30s. Hey, Jacksonville, this out of the International Airport, our official measuring site at 39. Get a little more accurate reading for what it's like along the river, 48 degrees at NES Jax. So kind of that temperature difference between close to the river and away and a little more inland. You can see just how that spread's working out. 49 Mayport. So the ocean kind of keeping things a little more mild there. Nonetheless, you're dealing with more wind, so north winds at the beach. So one way or the other, we're going to need the layers this morning. In fact, out in Waycross, Brunswick, inland southeast Georgia, we're going to have a bit of a frost advisory this morning, and we might be dealing with that for the next couple of mornings. Your main point, so winter feelings back, starting off our 2025, and that's going to go through the weekend with that winter blast that's on its way. A couple of opportunities for a freeze even as we get into Saturday and really Sunday morning, and tracking our next rain and storm chances in the 7-day because we could use a little bit of that rain. In the meantime, getting out the door and getting ready to go on a Thursday. 61 degrees right now with dawn at 39. Sunny, but very, very chilly, and that sunrise is going to be happening about 7:24 this morning. 61 will be your high temperature as we look at our day planner. Take this away from it. At least we'll have plenty of sunshine. All right, let's take a look now at our commute. Katie Jeffries standing by in the traffic center.
Hey, thank you so much. All right, so taking a quick look here towards the Buckman Bridge as we are starting out. Looking beautiful for drivers this morning. Traffic picking up a little bit. Maybe some people are headed back to work after the long break. But as we get out the door, not seeing any crashes or construction causing any delays at this point. So that is some great news for you. Your downtown bridges here look like they are moving up to speed. No complaints there. Atlantic Beach and JTB also all look pretty nice. So overall pretty good. Even up towards maybe the Glenn County area if you're going into or out of Brunswick, no reports of issues. So it's a good start at the moment, but if something does come in that starts to cause a problem, we'll let you know.
All right, Katie, thank you. This morning we continue to follow the deadly attack on New Year's celebrations in New Orleans. Jasmine Monroe on your side with the latest information on the suspect and possible ties to terror organizations. Jasmine?
Yeah, hey, good morning to you, Lou. That's right. So federal authorities have named the suspect as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar. He's an American from Texas, and police are searching for potential co-conspirators as the investigation spreads to multiple states. So the attack began at 3:15 local time when it appears Jabbar drove down Bourbon Street firing shots into the crowd while striking multiple people with his car. Now, Jabbar then got out of the truck and fired on police officers with an assault rifle, injuring 2 officers in that process. New Orleans police then returned fire, killing him. 15 people are now dead and dozens more are still in the hospital as a result of this attack.
Because of the intentional mindset of this perpetrator who went around our barricades in order to conduct this, he was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did.
Well, the FBI did say that an ISIS flag was located in that vehicle. 2 improvised explosive devices, which are homemade bombs, were discovered by law enforcement officials, including one in the suspect's truck. Right now, the attack is being investigated as an act of terror, and federal authorities say they do not believe this driver acted alone.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
Law enforcement teams searched the suspect's home in Houston and detained at least 1 man and searched the scene of an overnight fire at a New Orleans Airbnb where investigators believe some of the explosive devices may have been assembled. So we will continue to follow the developments both on air and online. Lou?
All right, Jasmine, thank you. The University of Georgia has confirmed a student is among the people injured in the attack. In a statement, UGA's president said the student was critically injured and is receiving treatment. All personnel and football team members have been accounted for. The president went on to express gratitude to the first responders for their rapid response to that attack. And of course, we're going to bring you the latest updates as we learn more Find the latest throughout the stations of First Coast News, both online and on firstcoastnews.com and First Coast News Plus.
Well, happening today, Duke's Blue Devils will battle the Ole Miss Rebels here in Jacksonville for the annual TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. After the attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, safety is a top concern. And our Tristan Hardy is on your side with more that you need to know concerning security at the bank.
That's right, Katie. With thousands of college football fans attending the Everbank Stadium later on today, you should anticipate more active security here. Now, TaxSlayer Gator Bowl officials said that guests will be searched at the entrance, including their belongings. As always, Everbank, there is a clear bag policy visitors have to follow. Fans will be asked to either store prohibited items in the Atlantic shelf storage fan lockers, take it back to their car, or just get rid of it at the entrance. Now, fans should also expect wandings and possible pat downs. The FBI in Jacksonville told us they don't have information that indicates a local threat associated with the attack on Bourbon Street. However, they are working closely with our local law enforcement to share information and disrupt any threats. Here's Ken Jefferson, our crime and safety expert.
The security will be heightened. The alert will be, the officers will be on their P's and Q's to try to prevent anything like that from happening here in Jacksonville.
Back here at the Everbank Stadium, the parking lots will open at 2:30. The gates open at 5:30, and the game kicks off at 7:30. I'm Tristan Hardy, First Coast News, on your side.
Tristan, thanks. 5:06. Starting this year, local business can sue the city for failing to enforce people sleeping on public property.
The city of Jacksonville tells First Coast News they are in a good position to avoid potential lawsuits, but they are calling on the state to provide more resources to cut homelessness here in Jacksonville. According to City Hall, the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department will be moving those who are unhoused from public areas to directing them to temporary housing. Council member Jimmy Peluso tells First Coast News this mandate is being enforced by the state with something the city did not expect, adding, however, that the city is prepared to combat homelessness through various city legislation like the Community Benefits Agreement. The agreement will provide funding that will go towards the unhoused.
We'll be able to kind of find out maybe what to do with those dollars that can help satisfy the major needs in this community, right? Homelessness is going up pretty much in every major municipality in the country, and we need to make sure that we're ready for it. We need to make sure that we are getting people the services that they need. Again, we can't just move people to the fringes. We have to provide them real solutions. And that's where I think Tallahassee has not given us, the runway that we need to help provide solutions.
Now we are continuing to gather more information on how the city plans to make more transitional housing available to those who are unhoused.
Well, as we enter 2025, business experts are concerned of the surge of shoplifting that they saw in 2024, with monetary losses for retailers rising up to 90%, according to the National Retail Federation. So on your side's Claire Alfred's been diving into this, explaining how this may impact the stores that you go to across the First Coast. Morning, Claire.
That's right, Lou. Good morning. You may notice when you walk into your go-to stores, you see an array of items locked up. It's more than electronics, including makeup to fake nails, and this is in response to shoplifting numbers going up, not even in Florida, but nationwide. Major retailers have responded to risking theft by locking up merchandise, upgrading security cameras, hiring private security firms, and even closing stores. Walgreens announced this summer one of the reasons they're closing 2,100 locations by 2027 is because of their struggles fighting retail theft. Now, Florida is one out of at least 8 states that have upped the penalties for shoplifters in 2024, adding higher fines and longer periods in prison depending on how much was stolen. Rich Hollander, who's worked in retail management since the 1970s, says the climate of stores are changing because of the increase in shoplifting.
The video of these people shopping at or stealing from high-end department stores, and that just is not happening to the same extent as it was because they're going to jail. They get caught, a few of them get caught, and they go to jail and they say it's not worth it.
Hollander adds that for businesses, the data from 2024 shows that 5% of everything you sell gets taken. Katie, back to you.
Well, in Las Vegas, a Cybertruck bursts into flames just outside a Trump International Hotel. Just ahead, what we know about the driver and why law enforcement is looking into a possible connection to the attack in New Orleans just hours earlier. Plus, St. John's community battles multiple fires on New Year's Day. Stay with us.
Yeah, with those cold mornings, space heater is probably going to be a necessity, so we're going to talk about safety with that, of course, through our week. And what about a warm-up? I mean, it's Florida, right? We got to have some warm on the horizon. No, not so fast. I think we're dealing with a couple of weeks now of this cold. We'll talk about the climatology of that in just a few moments.
Watching those roadways for you, thankfully pretty good. If you are traveling from Georgia towards Jacksonville, not seeing any major delays at this point, but if anything comes in, we'll let you know.